Hi guys, Ange here. Thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to share with you for the first time ever my Sephora picks for the upcoming Spring Sale 2020. So if you'd like to know what I think you should have your eye on in the Sephora Spring Sale, please keep watching. Thanks for joining me today guys, and if you are new here, welcome. I like to share beauty tips and reviews and other interesting things that are aimed at the more mature woman, because I strongly believe that we can still be fab over 50. So if that sounds like you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so you are notified of any upcoming videos coming up, and I would just like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to tune into my video today. I truly appreciate it. Now, I have never filmed one of these videos before, as I'm here in New Zealand and our New Zealand website has different sales to the US website, but we do get the great 20% and 15% off sales just at different times. We also don't have the same brands that are available in the US. So my video today is aimed at the US Sephora site, and because it's the first one I've ever done, I've got quite a few options that I would recommend purchasing from Sephora whilst they have their 20% discount. Is amazing and does not come around very often. So if you are a VIB Rouge, you are lucky enough to get 20% discount, and then for VIB members, after that initial first period for the VIB Rouge, it becomes 15% discount. Now, before we actually get into my picks, I know things are tough at the moment and everyone is trying their best to be on a limited buy or a no buy. But if there are things in your skincare that you are wanting to replenish, or there is something that you've had your eye on for a very long time and you really do want it, now is the time to make that purchase if you are able to. So this video is by no means encouraging you, well, it is. I'm not suggesting that you go out and buy makeup and other beauty items when you can't afford it. There are other affordable options. These are just my recommendations and my picks if you are able to do so. So I've just pulled a few skincare items to start with, and just a few because I do use quite a few different skincare items that aren't available at Sephora. And the first one is a brand overall really, and that is the brand Toucher. Now, unfortunately, I should put a picture up of this item because my bottle was a little bit janky, but the Toucher Pure One Step Camellia Cleansing Oil is my favorite cleansing oil at the moment. I absolutely love this for melting away and removing my makeup at the end of the day before I go in with my second step. It is just a beautiful product, and this is my second bottle, and I had a jumbo size bottle that was a limited edition special that came out, and when that runs out, it is something that I would like to repurchase. And also in the Toucher cleansing line, I really love the Toucher the Deep Cleanse. I really like this for really deep cleansing my skin, exactly as it says. It is just a beautiful product. I have used other Toucher products, and I would like to be able to repurchase them, but the two that I do are these two cleansing products. Another brand overall that if I was able, I would definitely look at Drunk Elephant. Now at the moment, I only have one product from Drunk Elephant, and this is the TLC Secure Baby Facial Exfoliant that I use as a treatment once a week. I love Drunk Elephant. Unfortunately, it's not as readily available to us here in New Zealand as it is in the US. It is stocked on the Mecca Beauty website, but the limit of what we can get is quite tiny. Like, we can't even get this product here. We don't get Proteiny. I can't get my sunscreen that I absolutely love from the Drunk Elephant line. It's my favourite sunscreen for under my makeup, and I can't get my hands on it, which is one of the reasons I was really gutted about my shopping list for Hawaii, because the Proteiny and the sunscreen were the first purchases I was going to make when I got over there at Sephora, because I can't get them here in New Zealand. So I absolutely love the Drunk Elephant skincare line, and if I was able to get 20% off, that would be such a bonus for me. One of my products, which for me is a holy grail product, is the Tarte Knockout Tingling Treatment Toner. It's a wee bit bright in the lights there. I love this toner, and this is a 10% acid complex of salicylic and lactic acids, and I absolutely adore this for my acid tone part of my skin regime. So that would actually be one of the first things I would purchase, because I'm totally out. It's actually just, I've had to pull it out of my empties to show you, and I would definitely get that with the 20% discount. Okay, so they are skincare items that I would definitely have on my picks list. Now getting into the makeup. There's so much. I have so much in the makeup department. And the reason being, because this is the first of this type of video from me, next time when I do a Sephora recommendations list, it will be smaller, because I won't repeat what I am recommending today. I'm going to get the first thing just out of the way, and it's brands. There are some brands that I just absolutely adore. I need to pull my head in with this first brand I'm going to mention to you, but they are pricey brands, but they are brands that have a lot of things in them that I really appreciate. So if I was able to get 20% off, and I could purchase these items, I would. The first brand is definitely Pat McGrath. I love her eyeshadows. I am going to try myself personally to be very, very good in the future, and maybe not purchase any eyeshadow palettes from her this year, but I don't know how strong I can be. But I have 3 of the large Mothership palettes, and I'll go in order of my loves. My first love is the Mothership 7, which is the Divine Rose palette. And these palettes are really pricey, but they are so luxurious. They are very, very weighty, you feel like you're getting your money's worth with these. They come with a beautiful beveled mirror on the inside, and this palette here is my absolute favorite. I just love this because it has your pops in there, but it also is a very everyday wearable palette as well. So absolutely love that. That would be my number 1 pick for Pat McGrath. Then my second pick would definitely have to be the Midnight Sun. The reason being, it's still got my beautiful neutrals in here. It's got a beautiful olive tone in here, but I just love this periwinkle colour. Now with the Mothership palettes, they are $125. You get 6 shades that are, you know, your mattes and shimmers, but her mattes are incredible. But in the Mothership palettes, you get these 4 extra shadows that you don't get in any of her other palettes, and they are the Blitz Astral shades, and these are what is sort of known as Pat's special shades, and they are just stunning. So I love that periwinkle, absolutely love that periwinkle colour, and I love that palette, and that would have to be my number 2 pick. And I don't normally keep packaging from makeup brands, but I keep all of my Mothership palettes in their cardboard box, because all of the just as a point, all of the Mothership palettes are all packaged the same in this black, beautiful, luxurious palette, and the only differentiation from the packaging is the outer cardboard box. The last Mothership palette that I have is the Mothership 5 palette Bronze Seduction, and that is this rich, beautiful palette here. So all of those 6 shades are right up my alley, with a couple of extra pops in there that I probably wouldn't have in other eyeshadow palettes. So I really do love them, but I do personally need to try and stop the temptation from Pat. Now, if you can't afford the $125 Mothership palettes, she also has these lovely little 6-pan palettes here, which retail for $65. Now, I love these as well. And the 2 palettes that I have here is the Platinum Bronze. Absolutely love this for cool tone shadows. It's just gorgeous. So you get these 6 shades that you would normally in the Mothership. The only thing that is missing here are the 4 special shades, or the 4 Blitz Astral shades. So this is a really this is a good way to enter into the Pat McGrath shadows to see if you are going to like them for $65, and if you get the 20% off, that would be really handy. The other 6-pan palette that I have is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation, and I really love this reddy colour here. On the eye, it actually has a green shift. You can't see it on my finger there, but on the eye it has a pink and a green shift, and it's just quite stunning and quite different on the eye. And then last but not least are the Blitz Astral Quads, which came out not that long ago, probably prior to Christmas, and these little 4-pan palettes have just the special shades, the Blitz Astral shades. And the one that I picked up was the Iconic Illumination. I really was tempted with the other palettes that were brighter. I loved the blue and yellow, and I loved the rosy palette as well, which would have paired beautifully with my Divine Rose. But I thought just one would be okay, and I didn't get the others. I was just trying to be a lot more controlled in my purchases at that time, but I definitely, if I could, would buy the other quads in the Blitz Astral shades. So that's Pat. Now I also have a wish list. So they're things that I've already got, and I would definitely have them as Sephora picks. But on my personal wish list for Pat McGrath, I am definitely wanting to purchase the concealer that's just come out and the blurring under eye powder. So if we have a sale coming up with Sephora NZ, they are 2 items that I would really like to get, and they are on my wish list personally of what I would like to add to my collection. The next brand that I could highly recommend if you haven't tried before is Natasha Denona. Now I personally myself have never purchased any of the 28-pan palettes. They were just too pricey. By the time the currency rate got converted, they were nearly $400 for an eyeshadow palette. And however much I love my makeup and my beauty, I definitely couldn't justify $400 for an eyeshadow palette. In saying that, I did purchase this wee gem here, which was $129. I did have the gold palette, but I didn't use that as much as I thought I would, so I passed that one on. But this is the Lila palette, and I absolutely love this. I love the mix of colours. You can really go neutral if you wanted to, or you can add some pop of colour. Now recently she did bring out a smaller palette called the Love palette, which I didn't go for because if I wanted to go for the pinky and purple tones, I can reach for my Lila palette for a similar look. So this is one of the most expensive Natasha Denona palettes that I have purchased, and that is the Lila palette, and I absolutely love this. The next palette from Natasha Denona that I can highly recommend and is one of my favorites is the VIB palette. And I keep losing the black out of here. My only issue with this palette is that I keep losing the matte black out of here. I think if it falls out again, I think I will just trash it because it's just fallen out now and landed in this beautiful shine colour, which is really frustrating. But it's just too hard to return products from here. It's not worth it. Cost-wise for sending it back, etc. is just not worth it. But I really enjoy this palette, apart from that black falling out. And I love the colours in here. And I'm sure if you were in the US and you had access to the actual Sephora stores, if something like this happened, you'd be able to return it and get a replacement. It's just too hard for me to do from here in New Zealand. But would highly recommend the VIB. It is one of my top 10 palettes that I have. Then she brought out these smaller palettes. Now those ones are $129 and these smaller palettes are $65, and I think these are a much better way, personally for me as a makeup user, to buy, as they're only $65 US. They are smaller pans, but I very rarely, with the amount of makeup that I have, hit pan on a lot of my eyeshadow palettes. So this for me is a much better way for you to buy Natasha Denona palettes. I love the size, I like the price. It's in exactly the same packaging as the VIB palette, it's just a little bit smaller. And you've got a few more shadows, but they're just smaller in size. But for $65, I think that is a great buy. And this palette here, was the Sunrise palette. Now when it comes to smaller, more affordable ways of purchasing Natasha Denona, you can get these 5-pan palettes which are $48. That is one issue for me with Natasha Denona, and why I fell in love with the Lila palette actually is it wasn't till I eyeballed it personally in a store when I was on holiday that I got to appreciate how beautiful that palette was. Unfortunately for Natasha Denona, because we don't have any stores in New Zealand that stock her brand, we can't eyeball the actual shadows. Now this 5-pan palette that I got for $48 I absolutely love, and it is the Camel palette, and I knew for myself that this was a safe bet for me because I love my neutrals. I just love my neutral shades, and I knew that I wouldn't have any issues with these colours, and I haven't. I absolutely like, I really do enjoy this palette, and that's $48. If you have never used Natasha Denona before but you want to try and dip your toes into the brand, I would highly recommend the $25 mini palettes. Now the two that I have here I absolutely love. I have the mini Nude palette and I have the mini Glam palette. These are just stunning. The shadows are the same quality as what you get in her big eyeshadow palettes, but at $25 you get to try them out. They're smaller pans, but as I said, for me, I'm really happy with that. They're great for popping in your bag. Love those, and I really would suggest that if you don't want to bite the bullet and go for a more expensive palette, the $25 mini palettes are the way to go to try her brand out. Natasha Denona does a whole wide range of products in her makeup line. I have only purchased the eyeshadow palettes and these two face palettes. The first one I have here is the Bloom Blush and Glow palette. It comes with 2 cream cheek products here and 2 sort of highlighty pops of colour as well. I actually really like this. I'm not really a cream makeup person because of my oily skin, but I have really enjoyed this palette. I haven't got as much use out of this. I probably should get more use out of this, but this is the Tan Bronze and Glow Bronzy and Highlight palette. Once again, you have one cream product in here, two highlighters and a bronzer, and I really do like the fact that because she's got the cream products in here, there is a protective cover in the palette as well. So they are two other items in Natasha Denona that I have. Another brand that I can highly recommend, I only have 3 palettes from this brand, but I absolutely love them, and they're the 12 pan palettes from Viseart. Absolutely think these are amazing palettes. I have the Warm Mattes, I have the Neutral Mattes number 2, and I have the Neutral Mattes number 1. These are such pigmented, beautiful quality eyeshadows. Highly recommend them. They retail for $80, but for good quality shadows, you can't go past Viseart. An expensive brand that I would recommend if you are wanting to try these, and by no means do I suggest you go out and buy them because they are very expensive. I believe these now have gone up to $88 each, but they are Tom Ford eyeshadow palettes. I personally like my luxury higher end makeup products. I just don't find a lot of drugstore products that play nicely with my skin, and I find for how many I get hit and miss, by the time I've had my misses, I could have bought one high-end or luxury product. Now that is just my experience. I do have fussy skin when it comes to foundations and things like that, and and here in New Zealand we don't get the testers for a lot of the more affordable brands, so we can't try it and see how it's going to be anyway. So I tend to just like, it's just my preference. But one brand that if I was able to get 20% off, because we never get the opportunity here in New Zealand to purchase, is Tom Ford. Now I was lucky enough to get the Cocoa Mirage original palette here in New Zealand. When I found out it was getting discontinued, I found one here in New Zealand. So I have the Cocoa Mirage, and I have the Nude Dip palette, which is all sort of a satin, shimmery, sheeny shades, but it's just in those neutral shades that I love so much. And mixing these two palettes together is just awesome, and you can get different looks from it. Okay. As far as foundations go, there are 2 foundations that I would get. I'm still trying to find my holy grail foundation. Now, I have tried today the Nars Sheerglow. I've never used it before because it keeps saying that it's a sheer foundation and I can't wear sheer. This is actually really good coverage, and I am interested to see how it wears during the day. I'm starting to get a shine on already, and I've only had it on for about 3 hours. So be interesting to see how it plays during the day. But at the moment, I love the coverage and I like the colour that I've tried it in. But if I was going to buy any foundations, this would be the time I would repurchase the L'Amour foundation. I love this. This is the Soft Fluid Long Wear foundation. I have been having mine standing upside down in my makeup area because I want to get every last dreg of this out, but I'm nearly finished that. Another foundation I would recommend, and I love this is really mature skin friendly, and it is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation. Now this was hard to get a sample of. The colours can be hard to match up because no one in Christchurch stocks this foundation, but I have found it in another city in New Zealand, so I risked it and got this, and I have mine in 5.5. Love this foundation. It really is beautiful on a mature skin, or anybody's skin, but particularly mature skin. Now, to combat my oily skin and my summer foundation, or just one when I really want good longevity for foundation, I love the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. This is my go-to, you know, the one I grab all the time. It is such a good foundation. It's got reasonable coverage and it just lasts really well on my non-behaved skin, so could highly recommend that. My favourite setting powder that I use every day and will repurchase whether it's on special or not is my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I get mine in the shade Poundcake. I love this for setting my skin all over. It just gives me, it's so finely milled, and it just gives me a really nice velvety finish. Remembering that I have more oily combo skin, I don't have dry skin. I've got no areas on my face where I have dry skin. I really love this powder. I have two primers that I absolutely love, and the first one is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. This is just divine. Unfortunately, I have finished mine, so if I was able to get 20% off it, I would definitely repurchase that. Unfortunately, Sephora in New Zealand does not stock this, and Mecca Beauty never have sales, so they never offer a discount on their makeup items. So if I was in the US, I would definitely repurchase this. It is a beautiful primer. The other primer that I really like is my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. This is beautiful, is combination oily skin friendly. Both of these are just beautiful and would highly recommend those. Lash serum, I've got falsies on today, and I do use lash extensions. But when I am trying to grow my lashes, one of the products that I really love is this Grande Lash. This is fantastic for helping me grow my lashes. I do really like it. It does grow my lashes. My only problem is that I have poker straight, very, very tough lashes, and I really struggle to curl them. So I can grow them, and I get a lot of more thickness in my lashes, and I get the length, but I can't curl them. And I find with my hooded lashes, I like to see a curled lash to sort of lift my eyes a little bit. But as far as a lash serum goes, I could highly recommend, from a girl who has the worst little lashes naturally ever, can highly recommend this lash serum. My favourite blushes that I have really been enjoying are from Cover FX. They are the Monochromatic Blush Duos Matte and Shimmer. My favourite shade is Pink Dahlia, and I actually just mix the matte and the shimmer together, and I love the glow, and I just love the finish of it. And then the other shade I have is Soft Peach. But they would be my favourite blushes that I would definitely have on my picks. I really love the Sephora Pro brushes. Now, I do love my luxury brushes by Sonia G and Wayne Goss, but they're very, very pricey. And I love looking out for the Sephora Pro brushes when they are on sale. They are beautiful. We don't get a very large selection of them here in New Zealand. We only get a portion of what's available in the US. But if you are looking for affordable, really good brushes, I absolutely really do recommend the Sephora Pro Collection brushes. Okay, going into another brand that I would definitely target at sale time, and that is Charlotte Tilbury. I probably think out of all the brands that I have in my makeup collection, Charlotte Tilbury's brand is the one where I have used multiple products, from brow products to foundation powders, eyeshadows, everything. Charlotte Tilbury's brand is the one that I have used the most across one single brand. And I just think her products are beautiful. I love her eyeshadows. I have several of her quads, and because I have so much makeup, I haven't picked up the quads. But if you were able to get your hands on any of the 12 pan instant eye look palettes, this one here is the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize. The latest one to come out was the Pillow Talk one, which I didn't get because it was very pinky for my liking. But these retail for $75, so if you can get 20% off, that would be really good. My favorite, this would be a holy grail product from me for a bronzer. I have two bronzers that I absolutely love, and this is one of them, and it is the Film'Star Bronze and Glow palette. I really enjoy this because I love the bronzer come contour equally as much as I love the highlight. Now, if you're a mature woman, this is a great palette because the highlight's not too in your face. It's just a really soft, natural highlight. It's not, you know, bam in your face, not as glowy as what I've got on today. So it's very mature skin friendly and is in what I would call holy grail status with my makeup. I really love the instant look in a palette combos that she has. Now this is probably my favorite, and it is the Gorgeous Glowing Beauty. But I have about 5 of them, and 3 of them I just reach for all the time. I love these because you've got 3 eyeshadows, a highlighter, a bronzer, 2 cheek products or 2 cheek blush colors, but you can mix and match them. You still use all these for eyeshadows as well, and I love them so much. They are an amazing product that I like from Charlotte Tilbury. Now I don't have that on hand now, but I do really love her Magic Foundation as well. Her iconic, the Icon palette, absolutely love this. This is just stunning for pops of color, so love that as well. I have the concealer, the under eye concealer, which I'm actually wearing today. I love that product as far as my under eye goes. I don't particularly love the packaging, but I do love the product itself. I love these Eyes to Mesmerize little pots. These are cream shadows. I have Bet, which is a coppery goldy shade, and I have Marie Antoinette, which is a taupey color. These are great if you're in a hurry and you just want to pop your finger in, pop it on your eyelid, and then use a brush to blend it out. Really quick out the door type of makeup item. Another brand overall that I love is Hourglass, especially in their powder products. Now I have 2 of these Edit palettes. I have the Unlocked palette and the Volume 3. Now I know you can't get these anymore, but just the products that are in here, you can buy them singularly as blushes, as bronzers, as highlighters. These products are incredible. They are amazing on mature skin. They give just a subtle sheen, but they don't highlight anything you don't want highlighted. The quality of them is really amazing, and I can't recommend them enough. I love the blushes. They're just gorgeous, and you really need to try them out if you do have mature skin, because they are really flattering on. Now this has just been re-released. I bought mine first time round, and this is the Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette. 3 shades of the strobe highlighting in here. I just sweep my brush across all 3 to give myself a really beautiful glow, and highly recommend this. It was so popular they've relaunched it, and I think that is a great little highlighting palette, and I think it's really mature skin friendly. So you can get it in this 3-pan palette, which I think will be limited edition again, or you can buy them in little singles like this. And I also have in my stash bronzers as well, but their powder products are just amazing. When it comes to lipsticks, I love the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I do love the Revolution lipsticks. I've got about 7 of them, but I really love this line that she brought out, the Hot Lips. They come with a refillable case. They are just so beautifully packaged. I love these, the ones I've got. I love all her lipsticks actually, and if I could only pick one brand of lipsticks at Sephora to purchase, going by the number I have in my collection, Charlotte Tilbury would be my pick. Something that I really like buying are face palettes. So palettes that have more than one item in them. One of my favorites is this little beauty from Smashbox. This is the Cali Contour palette. I love how sleek it is. It's just in the cardboard, but it's very sturdy. Comes with a mirror, and the shades in here are just stunning. You have this beautiful blush, you have highlighters, you have a setting powder, which is great for under the eyes, you have a bronzer, a contour, and a highlight. And I just think the shades in here, they suit me in my medium skin tone, and I love this for a face palette. Very easy if you're going away for a weekend to chuck it in, because it's got everything you need in here. You can use them for eyeshadows as well. And then one that I have got recently, and I haven't done a review on this because this was released quite a while in the US. Well, we only received it in New Zealand about 2 weeks ago, and this is the Nars Overlust palette. The packaging is incredible, absolutely beautiful. I love it. Comes with a mirror, and inside you have 3 really nice neutral blushes and 3 highlighters. Now I love all of the blushes, and I've been using 2 of the highlighters. This one here I think I can only use as a eyeshadow, but these 2 highlighters, because of the shades, they're not super blingy, and I've just put my fingernail in there. They're not super blingy, they give a nice shine, but because of the shade of them, they just give a shine and not a sort of in your face highlight. So it just catches the light because they're more to my skin tone rather than being really champagne-y and really bright. So absolutely love these sorts of things for their versatility. Now my second bronzer, I mentioned the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. My other bronzer that I swear by is my Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze in Tantastic. I mean, this just never runs out. Never runs out. It's just beautiful. I love this bronzer, and if I could only have 2 bronzers in my stash, these would be the 2 I would have. 2 products that I have purchased recently that I could highly recommend is, first of all, this eyeshadow palette by Artist Couture, the Supreme Nudes. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today, and if you would like to see a video of that, that is coming up soon. I love this. They are a mix of beautiful, sophisticated and rich chic colours, and I have really been enjoying that. So beautiful, blends beautifully, the quality is great, and I can see me using that a lot in our autumn winter. And the palette that I've received the most recently, and I am in love, is this little beauty by Too Faced, and this is the Born This Way, the Natural Nudes eyeshadow palette. This is gorgeous. I mean, it's so up my alley with its neutrals and the rosy tones, and I think anyone, if you were starting out, this would be a great palette. You've got a mix of your mattes and your shimmers. They blend beautifully. They're pigmented. It's in beautiful, sleek packaging. If you were looking for a beautiful neutral eyeshadow palette that wasn't too expensive, I mean, I've gone through Pat McGrath, I've gone through Natasha Denona. This at, I think, $45 US is a great way to have a beautiful eyeshadow palette in your collection with these beautiful nudes, with a mixture of mattes and shimmers, and with your 20% off. You wouldn't really be breaking the bank like you would if you bought some of the more expensive items I have picked out. Beautiful palette. My favourite lip glosses are by Fenty Beauty, and by far my favourite is this one here, which is Fussy. I just about wear this over the top of most of my matte-ish type lipsticks. It just gives a beautiful shine, a little bit of a rosy pink to it, and I also love it on its own with just a really light lip liner. So love that Fussy by Fenty, but I have a couple of others as well, but that would be my favourite shade. Okay guys, so there was a lot of products, and I'm sorry that it was such a long video, but they would definitely be where I would be looking if I was buying items at Sephora with 20% off. As I said, I by no means am encouraging you to go and spend money you don't have. Times are tough and everyone is pulling in their horns and trying to tighten their belts, so this was just a recommendation of everything that I love that's available at Sephora in the US. As I said, the two things that I do have on my wish list are by Pat McGrath, and that's the concealer and the under eye powder, and probably the Natasha Denona mini in the retro glam that's just come out. I would really love to get my hands on that as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'm sorry it was so long. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy that, and as I said, in the future when I upload any videos similar to this, I won't repeat what I have gone over today, and hopefully the next video will be shorter. Please take care, guys, and don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Would truly appreciate it, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you are notified of any upcoming videos. Please leave me any comments down below, good or bad. I would love to hear from you, and I just hope you've all had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later, guys. Bye.